Hey everyone, it's Bobby at the Paper Jungle. I want to show you a card I made a few days ago using this present and pinecone suite. I did not use this stamp on this one. I used the dies, and I used one of the embossing folders. This is the finished card on Crumb Cake, and I used an embossing folder and then sponged around the edges. And then if you remember when I was giving away the Fancy Frost paper and I showed you samples of how you could color it, these the Greenery, I'll just call it, that's cut from a piece that I showed you that I did with Emerald Envy on the Fancy Frost paper, and it was such a pretty color I wanted to use it. It was just a small sample that I used for a video, so I used it to cut out the little greenery, and then I used some Cajun Craze to cut out these little berry sprigs, and then the pine cones are cut out of Tip Top Taupe. And then I used a piece of emerald green for the ribbon. And then on the inside I embossed "Wishing You a Joyful Christmas" with the new red embossing powder that they have. It's a glitter embossing powder. It's really pretty. Has a really pretty sparkle to it. So what you'll need to make this card is the Thinlits. And I'll have everything listed for you at the end of the video, all the product numbers and the sizes and measurements of the pieces that I used. But the Thinlits are here. They're called the Pretty Pines, and I used these, the pine cones, and this little sprig over here for the berries. Now this one I made in a landscape, and the next one I cut out in a portrait style. And when you do the portrait style, like on the landscape, the embossing folder will fit all the way across it like this, but on the landscape, or the portrait, it doesn't. So I had to cut a separate piece of the crumb cake for that, and then I ran it through the Big Shot to get this border. Okay. And then I stamped, this is from Wonderful Year, the sentiment. Says, "May your Christmas be merry and bright," and it's this little one right over here. So there's just one stamp set, one set of dies, and some scraps of paper, and then your crumb cake is all you need. So what I did was left my white ink in the other room. Wouldn't you know it? And I had it in here at one point, and then I wanted to go back and stamp the sentiment so that I could put some clear embossing powder on it, because it takes longer for the white to dry, and I didn't want it to smear when I did the video. So, and then I left the white in there. Now when I first started on this one, I was kind of dabbing, and you can see where quite a bit of the ink got on the crumb cake. So then I switched, and I just started lightly going from side to side with it, and it seems to just catch the raised part a little bit better that way, and you don't get so much pressure. It just barely takes the lightest touch, and these raised edges will pick up the white, and you don't get as much on the background that way. I just barely drug it across there, and it's such a small amount, it's not gonna give you a problem smearing. But when you're doing the sentiments, sometimes I have to stamp it 2 or 3 times to get a bright enough impression, and then it takes a while for it to dry, and I didn't want to smear it, so I put a little clear embossing powder over it and heat set it so I wouldn't smear it. Okay, so we'll go around the edges with this Whisper White Craft ink. I hear my little dog crying. I don't know what he wants. I gave him treats before I started, because he always thinks he has to follow me in here and see what I'm doing, and then he makes noise. And I guess the treats wasn't what he wanted, because he keeps following me, whining at me. Probably just wants attention since I've been gone so much this week. So I'll have to go sit with a little feller in a minute. So we go all the way around all 4 sides with this white. And then I cut out, goodness, locks in there good. And I'll just use some dimensionals to put this. And you can actually go ahead and put it down. I don't want to lay it down till I'm sure it's dry. I'll put one in the center, make sure it doesn't get mashed. Okay, this has been a crazy week with Monday starting out as a holiday and trying to get my patients in there all in a short amount of time and help out at the office. It just has been crazy, and I've made some cards, I just haven't had time to make the videos. So hopefully I can get some videos made this weekend. I had a few people contact me. Are you okay? Where are you? They're so used to me making more videos. But it just didn't work out this week. Okay, and we're just going to put this on top. And it's the same size as the base card. So there we go. Now then the pieces, you can use glue dots or Tombow, whatever you want to use. I used glue dots on this first one, and I kind of like the way it kind of stands out and isn't really glued down tight. And that was with glue dots. And if you just kind of roll them up with your finger, they'll not show up so much. There it is, it's on my finger. Oh, and I have to correct myself. When I did the video on the train, the Holly Jolly, or the North Pole Express, I called it, that's what it was. I said that the Dazzling Diamonds had been retired. Now, I honestly thought it had been. They retired so many things, and I thought that was one of them. And that was my mistake. They haven't been retired. They're still available. And I had a few people point that out to me, which was very kind of you to let me know. But, you know, those things happen. They just deleted so many things, and for some reason I had it stuck in my mind that that was one of them, but it wasn't. So you can still get the Dazzling Diamonds, which is a good thing because I really like them. I use them quite a bit, especially on Christmas cards where you've got snow and stuff. It just adds so much to your card. Okay, so now we're going to put this one over this away. They're all wanting to get caught on me. It's a real easy card to make. The hardest part of the whole thing, which isn't hard at all, or I should say the most time consuming, not hard, is cutting out all your pieces. Once you get them cut out, you're raring to go. Okay. And then we'll put this one, kind of angle it up towards the center. Let me put another glue dot under that tall one and kind of anchor it down a little bit more. It's sticking up a little too much. Now if I can get it off my finger here. Okay, there we go. That's better. Now these little guys can just get stuck in under the greenery. And put one up under here, like so. These pine cones are so pretty. Two of them are kind of an open design. They cut out the design in the center, and then the other one is more solid, but it's embossed, and it's so pretty. They're really detailed. Okay. Let's get this little guy up under here somewhere. See where I want him to go. There we go. Right like that. Okay. Now we can put down our pine cones. It goes together really quick. So we'll put this one this way. And this little guy out here where he's kind of covered up now. See if I can get him out a little bit more. I want him to be out a little bit farther. There, so he'll show. And then the third one. I'm going to put it this direction in the center. And then I cut the bow also out of the same Fancy Frost paper. I love that paper. It is so pretty, and it's really fun to color it. It's really pretty. And then we'll just put our little bow. If I can get it off my finger, we will. We'll put our little bow right there. And there it is. Isn't that pretty? I really like this card. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to do that so you won't miss any future videos. I had a really good response to the luminaries that I did recently that are made out of cardstock. And I have another luminary video coming up that you'll all be shocked to see what I made it out of. And it is so gorgeous. So be sure you subscribe so you'll be able to see all the new ones when they come out. I've got several new cards ready to go. It's just a matter of getting the time to make the videos. But I'm going to try to do several this weekend. So you all have a good day, and I will see you soon in the next video. Bye, guys.